check out the new Thin Green Line podcast, hosted on patreon.com. That's patreon.com. It's a members-only podcast where Game Wardens John Norris and Wayne Saunders talk about wildlife, law enforcement, the outdoors, environmental subjects mixed with current events, and what members want to hear. Join them and become a part of the Thin Green Line. Guidefitter is the industry network for professional outdoor guides and outfitters, the trusted destination for consumers seeking and sharing guided hunting and fishing experiences of a lifetime, and the enterprise influencer marketing platform for outdoor brands. Guidefitter and its members represent the pulse of the guided hunting and fishing industry. Guidefitter's outdoor partners provide discounts to select types of outdoor professionals, including game wardens, members of the military, guides, outfitters, and other outdoor professionals. Over 145 brand partners and counting. Gear across many categories, including packs, footwear, clothing, flashlights, knives, optics, even firearms and ammo. For more information, go to guidefitter.com/wardenswatch. That's Wardens Watch, all one word. I'm Game Warden Wayne Saunders, and I'm a member of Guidefitter.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a non-profit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
This podcast is brought to you by Maine Operation Game Thief and Wildlife Heritage, a foundation of New Hampshire at nhwildlifeheritage.org and International Wildlife Crime Stoppers. Please join me, Game Warden Wayne Saunders, and other Game Wardens on our adventures protecting wildlife, saving lives, and having fun, all while serving the public and the natural resources of our planet. Listen to the tales and experiences of those who work in the outdoors while being entertained with stories about encounters with poachers, wildlife investigation, murder investigation, near-death experiences, search and rescue missions, wildlife interactions from game wardens around the country and around the world. When I retired, I realized I couldn't let go of that legacy, but rather wanted to share the passion, the commitment, and the stories of those men and women that call themselves Game Wardens. This is Game Warden Wayne Saunders, and this is Warden's Watch. John, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this. We're going to do a little bonus podcast with Presby Steel Company, and they got a new product that's just in our wheelhouse. I know you on the West Coast and me on the East Coast, we've dealt with bear problems, and I don't even want to call it a bear problem because it's a people problem normally. They came up with this solution.
Always bear interaction.
Yeah. It's bear versus people, and bears are being bears. Let's face it. And we put out this delicious stuff that we don't eat, and there they get into it. They make a mess. They destroy things. Well, Presby Steel came up with this. I want to call it a mini dumpster because it looks like a mini dumpster, but it's got wheels, so it's very manageable. Okay. You can put a 32-gallon can in it, or I forget how many bags they say, but quite a few bags of garbage in it. It's got a cutout, so actually, people can open it up, and it'll be right there and throw your stuff in it and wheel it around. So if you got pickup, you just take your garbage can out. Fits, one good garbage can in, or I think it's like 6 or 8 bags that you can fit in this thing. So it acts as that, and then you take that out when it's time. But good for raccoons, but designed for black bears because they were looking as they're driving to work, they're seeing on a bad day. And last year we had, there's not food in the woods. The bears come and they look for food in the city. So we've had black bears living in the city and going through everybody's garbage and driving to work one day. This guy's looking at this and saying, we can do something. We're a steel fabrication place, and let's make something. And then they did. So it's pretty cool.
I'm glad they Man, I'm glad they did that, Wayne, because you don't see anything that's small and affordable that truly protects perishables, garbage, anything you would put out that would attract a bear that doesn't really keep it contained. We haven't seen anything like that on the West Coast. And just like you guys out on the East, in Montana, we have black bears in the backyard. We expect that because here we are, in
And we expect it too.
Deep forest. And you guys expect it. And, all my stuff comes into a garage at night. We don't leave trash cans out. But if you're in Los Angeles, bordering, say, the Los Angeles National Forest, or you're in the Bay Area, or not the Bay Area, but
there's bears in Los Angeles?
Tahoe, there are bears in Los Angeles County, actually in the mountains right north of Hollywood.
Wow.
And we have more bear interactions where they're walking through like Arco AM/PM gas stations. They're in people's backyards. They're up in areas out of San Bernardino and Riverside County, just over the hill from Los Angeles, where they're ransacking cabins, tearing up garbage cans, tearing up vehicles. And none of those people have anything like this. So the fact that this thing's affordable, and what do those things run? I think
they're under $500.
$500.
Under $500. They're for something price point. I know what shipping would be to get them to Los Angeles, but I know the people at Presby Steel will load up a truck and head west. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's incredibly affordable and a really good device that would be used all over the country. Even the big population centers that, like I said, and people don't realize this, California has a big black bear population, and there's a lot of black bear interactions that are unwanted. So that would help.
And if we can avoid them for that, I think it's just a great opportunity for people to actually help the wildlife.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool. Well, we'll get with them and do a mini podcast to get the word out there and help them out, spread the word, and basically help our officers too, because don't we hate going to bear complaint after bear complaint after bear complaint? It'd be nice if people could get something like this and reduce the work that we have to do so we can do some of the more important stuff that conservation officers, game wardens do.
Yeah, that's the key point you brought up right there. The more wildlife interaction calls or problem bear calls, if you will, that we got to go to, that's all taking time from being out there for proactive patrol to stop wildlife poaching, right?
Right.
And I know from coming from California, even though I wasn't in the hot heat bed of the city, I was so close to it, and we're always short-staffed and we have vacancies or people on vacation, I would go wildlife interaction call, problem bear, problem lion, coyote, all day long, all week long, and just be pulling my hair out to like, when can I go, get into a hunting check? When can I check a spotlighter? Because I know they're spotlighting deer right over the hill almost nightly.
Yeah.
And no one's looking at them. So to your point, that really helps us, and people, besides helping them and keeping their stuff protected in a container like that, you're doing a lot for wildlife overall, and you're easing the pressure on your game wardens. So look into this, guys. It's a good device and much needed nationwide.
And as if you're listening as a game warden too, we can get some information out to you so you can give it out to people so they have a resource to reduce their problems. So, but again, a pretty cool thing to promote on Warden's Watch. I am here today with George McNamara from Presby Steel. It's kind of a strange thing for a game warden to be hanging out with a steel company, but this product is awesome to help protect wildlife. Is basically what it does, and it helps wildlife to stay wild, doesn't it, George?
Well, it does, and it solves a lot of problems of the everyday guy, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been that everyday guy. I've had bears in my dumpster. As a game warden, I can understand, and I dealt with so many bear complaints. My buddy John Norris, my co-host, is from California. Same issues. Whether it's raccoons, whether it's black bears, some places a grizzly. Have you ever been to Alaska, George?
No, I haven't made it that far yet.
When you go to Alaska, check out the bear proofness in Alaska. It's serious. And you know why it's serious?
Because it has to be.
It has to be. So my theory was just to stock some grizzlies here in New Hampshire, and then we would have compliance, because it's really not a bear issue. It's more of a people issue. And giving people tools to combat a garbage problem or something is just priceless to me, as working with people and working with animals, becoming that in-between guy and not having some tools and having affordable tools. Because can you tell us about the whole process and how you started and Because this was an idea you guys came up with on your own and just kind of a visual, huh? You were like...
Well, Dave Presby, who's very involved with us now and is going to be much more involved in the next years to come, he challenged Brad and I to come up with a product.
And Dave's the owner of Presby Steel.
Dave's the owner of Presby Steel, yes. A product that we can manufacture that uses steel.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to be careful, too, because we sell steel. And we sell steel to a tremendous amount of fabricators.
Right.
And we don't want to step on anybody's toes. We don't want to start building steel beams and structures and things of that nature that would step on the toes of the people that are our customers.
That makes good sense.
Yeah, so I was visiting a dumpster company one day, and the guy was walking around swearing and kicking the dirt.
You're dropping off the steel for the top of the dumpster because he was putting the steel tops on.
Exactly. That's one of the things he does do for us. He does for himself. And he says, boy, how would you like to build some of these things? And they were a wire cage, basically, that set on the ground. I said, well, what the heck is it?
Mm-hmm.
He says, and he explained to me, everybody says bear, but it's much more than just bear. It's wildlife.
Absolutely.
It's every form of wildlife. He said, keeps them out of the trash. I says, well, he says, build as many as you want. I can sell as many as you make. Well, I looked at what he had, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But we took it to a little bit higher level. We wanted to have something that you could put outside your home that didn't have a plastic bag in it that the raccoons could pick through and stuff like that. So we came up with these. This is about the 12th time. We'd built something. First one we built was much larger. It was too big. It wasn't easily moved.
Mm-hmm.
We changed the direction. We changed the front. We have two models. We have one that has a front on it that's cut down.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is we want to be able to take a Rubbermaid, if you will, trash barrel, and put it in without having to pick it up over your head.
Right.
We messed with this quite a little last summer. We started on it. And by the time we came up with our final model, bear season was over, as in the fact the bears had moved out of town because last year there was a tremendous amount of feed between the nuts and the berries and the apples. It was just a year no bears were coming into town. So we kind of just sat on it. Mm-hmm. We were interacting with the New Hampshire Fish and Game, Andrew Timmons out of Littleton, as luck would have it.
He's our bear biologist.
He's our bear biologist, as luck would have it. I live in Littleton. I got to know him. He's a great guy. Mm-hmm. He came up. He looked at him. He gave us some good pointers on him.
Yeah.
Was instrumental, actually, in a couple of the ways we were doing a couple things.
Nice.
So we thought about it. We said, well, let's donate one to the Fish and Game. So we gave one to the Fish and Game to get a little press. Let's face it. It all helps.
That's what it is.
So it makes the world go round.
Mm-hmm.
And coincidentally, about a month ago, they called us up and said they want 2 more, and they purchased 2.
Nice.
So their theory is they're going to give some to the officers that are going to these interactions with the bears, and they're going to give the people a solution, a temporary solution. They're going to loan them out, and they're going to say, in 2 weeks, you got to have something, come up with something better, whether it's a shed, a new garage, or it could be one of these.
Right.
And that was the whole idea behind it. We want to make these so they're affordable.
Right.
We will sell these to every guy that comes into this place or calls us for $435. People need to go online and they need to search. And they need to search bear trash containers, bear-proof trash containers. We're a couple $100 less than everybody else. The whole theory, and this comes straight from Dave Presby, is let's provide a service. Let's make this affordable.
Absolutely.
Let's not make something that we're going to all retire on, because we're not going to retire on these.
No.
We're covering our costs. We're getting a little bit of profit so we can keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to see if they sell. I think they're going to sell. I talk to people. They're excited. They say it's great. The next thing to do, and that's why I called you and contacted you, is we got to get these out. Right. Especially, here we are, we're in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis. Mm-hmm. We had shows planned we were going to go to in Maine. We were going to solicit them through them. We had 2 shows planned. Everything's been canceled. So we're trying to come up with alternative methods, and we're unbelievably thankful that you accepted our invitation, and we're sitting here today talking about them.
Yeah, and it's an awesome product, and there's so many wildlife officers that listens to Warden's Watch and wildlife associations. And, I think of the podcast I did with my good friend Mark Rakowski down in Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania has one of the largest populations of bears in the United States. And people don't realize, they don't think Pennsylvania, don't think bears, but they also have some of the largest. And the next is New Jersey. And I've got some good friends down there that are game wardens as well. And to listen to their stories of bear issues, I think this is a good, like you said, an affordable solution, especially for trailer parks, campgrounds, where you don't have, a dumpster. And it's not a bear proof. And that's one of the things we fight with is dumpster companies like light plastic tops on their dumpsters so people can easily, because they're big, Let's face it, they're big, they're tall. So what they have to put on has to be light so the people can flip it of all ages. So this is a huge solution. And like you said, not just bears, but wildlife, raccoons, anything that's going to get
everything.
Possums. I don't ever had to deal with a possum up here, but I know there's possums down south, and they get into all kinds of trouble. So just any wildlife that wants to get into there.
And something that Andrew Timmons explained to us was once the bear or the skunk or the raccoon wasn't successful, they would leave. Right. They would stop coming to that source. And I kind of thought to myself, well, okay, I'm listening to you. So one of the ladies that works in our office here was having a terrible problem in Dummer. She didn't have a garage. She didn't have a way to keep her trash separate. So one of our prototypes, it was a lot different than these, but the same principle, I said to her one day when we finally thought of it, the light came on in my thick skull. I said, Kaylee, do you want to take this home? She says, oh, goodness, I'll try it.
Yeah.
And she said a week and a half to 2 weeks of picking it up, standing it up, or you could see where the bears had come by that night looking for the handout. They stopped coming.
Right.
And it wasn't coincidental with the lack of feed because that was before that happened. And she said they just, for the most part, stopped coming, which there you go.
Yeah, because
Andrew knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah, it's just training is what you're training. When a bear gets a reward, he hits a bird feeder. They have a memory like I can't even tell you. That bear will go back within the day or two where he hit that bird feeder and hit it again and hit it again. He'll hit it every year. And because he has that memory of where he got food at this time of year. And when you take that away, when a bear has to make so much effort to do it, it deters them because there's easier places to get food. So when it becomes difficult for them, it logs in their mind. It shouldn't be this hard. It smells good, but I can't get it. I can't get anything to eat. But boy, you feed them once and they get that memory. They come back for that bird feeder again and again and again until there's nothing and it's all cleaned up. And then they'll still check on it. And they're still going to keep people, if you're not using it and you have it, they're going to be, if you got too much garbage, you might need 2 of these. So, if it sits out beside it, guess what? You just rewarded that bear again and he's back because he's just got some food. So, but what a great, great affordable way to keep wildlife wild is what it comes down to. Our interaction with wildlife should be, seeing in its natural state, and bears in our garbage, raccoons in our garbage, skunks in our garbage is not their natural state. So I think this is an awesome product for Warden's Watch to get behind and get out nationwide. And I hope we can fill up some 18-wheelers for you and send them across the country for an affordable solution. Presby Steel. I'm assuming that's on your website?
Yes, it is on our website at presbysteel.com. Or you can simply call, here at the office, 603-752-3022, and any one of our salespeople answer the phone.
Nice.
And just simply tell them what you're looking for, and they'll scramble around. They'll find the sheet on it, and we'll set you up. Now, one of the things we're able to offer, which is unique, is Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. We can provide free shipping because we're covering Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, most locations twice a week with our normal steel delivery service. So we'll put a couple on top of a truck and ship them for free. If we start going out of state, say New Jersey, Pennsylvania,
you're gonna have to
Rhode Island. Well, then we'll
have to look at shipping.
We'll get the pallet cost, the standard rates for pallets. We'll strap them down to pallets, and we'll be more than happy to ship them.
But for free shipping in the Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, that's huge. That is absolutely huge.
Yeah, you don't get that with a postcard.
You don't. And if you look at these things, they're substantial. They got some nice wheels on them, so they're easily managed.
They are. Well, I think they weighed in about 100 pounds, 110 pounds when you figured everything out. We got a. It might be hard to see where the camera is right now, but we have
we'll get some close-ups later.
A developed hinge right here from the fabricators at Presby Steel.
Nice.
It's made with a piece of tube larger than a piece of tube that is there, a strong piece of square stock, bent. Handles, we make our own handles. The only thing we don't make on these are the wheels. We looked around, we found an affordable wheel that was heavy duty.
Right. And no air needed, by the way. That's huge.
No, it's a solid rubber.
Yes.
It rolls a little harder than some, but it doesn't go flat.
If I don't have to fill it up, I'm forever filling up some of my tube ones. I just those hard wheels are priceless, if you ask me.
We used a automotive paint, so it's got an automotive paint finish on it, and we even sprayed the inside. So
nice.
It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of some of the other ones.
And it's got a latch on it too, so you can just drop the latch and.
It has, and this is one of the things we went with and kept it simple.
Yeah.
I got this dog snap, and that's all it needs is a dog snap. Yeah. That secures it. The bear is not going to get into it. Mm-hmm. And it's like I said in one of our other videos, you can hook a kryptonite cable to it. You can tether it to a tree, and that's not to keep the bear from hauling it away. That's to keep your neighbor from hauling it away. Because let's face it, once your neighbor sees it, they're going to want it.
No doubt. You might want to put a lock on it so he doesn't fill it up before you get there.
Well, yeah, that's a thought too. So it's basic, it's simple, and we're real excited to introduce them to the public this spring as the bears start to come out. Actually, they're out.
Yes,
a little bit. We're hearing.
In northern New Hampshire here. Now think about, New Jersey, New York. And you know what? I just found out from my buddy John Norris that in California, sometimes the bears don't hibernate. It doesn't get cold enough, so they're up year round. I can't imagine that. I always look forward to bears hibernating.
yeah, it's a break.
But no, it's a great product for a Warden's Watch to get behind. Just to keep the wildlife wild. And if you know of a friend that needs this, let them know. And then just reach out to Presby Steel. But thanks a lot, George. I appreciate you advertising with Warden's Watch, and I appreciate you thinking like this for the wildlife, basically.
We're very thankful to have you on board with us, and we're excited. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Please join me, Game Warden Wayne Saunders, and other Game Wardens on our adventures, protecting wildlife, saving lives, and having fun, all while serving the public and the natural resources of our planet. Listen to the tales and experiences of those who work in the outdoors while being entertained with stories about encounters with poachers, wildlife investigation, murder investigation, near-death experiences, search and rescue missions, wildlife interactions from game wardens around the country and around the world. When I retired, I realized I couldn't let go of that legacy, but rather wanted to share the passion, the commitment, and the stories of those men and women that call themselves game wardens. This is Game Warden Wayne Saunders, and this is Warden's Watch.